Hey, Julie here, and today I'm going to talk about a new project that I have that's available on my website at paperbeadcrafts.com. It is called a paper bead pen or pencil topper, and basically what it is, they're pencil toppers made with paper beads, and this one's decorative tape, this one's duct tape, and also this one's duct tape. And they're made with wires, duct tape, and one special thing that is on the inside that makes it possible for them to come off. I wanted something removable, and this is what I came up with. And this one actually fits on a pencil, and it stays on there pretty good. It won't fall off. And this one here, it's just a, it's just a decoration to put on the back side of your pen while you're working with it. And this one also comes off easy. And what I used inside of this for this part here, believe it or not, is an old pen cap, just like that. And that's the exact type that I used for these three. And you do have to get this prepped. But for everything that you're going to need for this project, this is what you're going to need. You're going to need a pen cap, of course. And then you're going to need 14 pieces of 20 gauge craft wire in either silver or gold, 2 inches long. You can also use eye pins if you want to. I have a bunch here prepped. Got a couple here that I do need to do. You're going to leave one of them without an eye at either end, so that one's fine. Let's see if I can find the one that actually needs another eye. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. You're going to need needle nose pliers. You're going to need some duct tape. Today I'm going to be using red ones because I want to make a red one. You're going to need 13 tapered beads, up to 5/8 of an inch long and up to 10 millimeters in diameter. And these happen to be 1/2 inch long and probably, I'd say 9 millimeters in diameter. I'm also going to need 26 4mm round, or these are size 6 seed beads, or you can also call them E beads. And I'm going to need 26 of those. These are gold. And I'm going to need the duct tape. And with the duct tape, what you're going to need is 1 or 2 pieces that's 1/4 inch by 2 inch. And you're going to need a piece that's 2 inch by 2 inch. And you're going to need an awl or a screwdriver. And you're going to need a pair of scissors, of course, to cut that duct tape if you haven't already done that. You're going to need wire cutters, and of course their pen cap. On this particular topper, I actually used a roll of decorative tape that I had. And this is just regular old, like, packing tape, but it's decorative. And I prefer the duct tape, to be honest with you. Okay, so let's get started. I'll move this stuff aside. And I'm not going to need the cutters just yet, not until I get to the beading part. Oh yeah, the way you want to get rid of, the very first thing you want to do is you want to get your cap prepared. You're also going to need some sandpaper. That's not actually in my instructions. This little bump here, I didn't bother getting rid of it with these first 3 that I made. My husband pointed out that I could use a grinder to actually grind off the bump. But if you don't have a grinder, you can use sandpaper or sander. It'll take a lot longer, but it could still work. And the one that I have that's all prepared is right here. So basically, you take your wire cutters and you start off by, let me get this aside so you can see what I'm doing. What you're going to do is you're going to take this little stem off. That's the first thing you do, and let it fly. And then you want to sand this little bump off. And when that's done, it'll look like this. And then the next thing you're going to do is every pen cap that I've come across has this little top air vent here thing on the top with holes in it. And I believe that's an air vent to prevent suction, or like a vacuum. And the way I get rid of that is I take an awl and I stick it all down into it and I poke it through. And there's a chad left over, so I'm going to grab a hold of the chad, and I'm going to take my cutters, I'm going to pull it off. There. Okay, and clean that up a bit, get that out of there. Okay, so the pen cap is prepared. You can set that aside. The next thing you're going to do is I have my piece of wire, and I'm going to look for the other piece of wire that needs to be bent. You just want to put the tiniest simple loop on the very end that you can, and I mean really, really tiny. So just grab a hold of it at the very end and loop it around until the end of it touches the wire. And that one's ready. And you want to make sure that it touches the wire for this next step. And the next step that you're going to do is you're going to string all of these wires onto this one. In fact, you can go ahead and form a U shape just so that they'll stay put. And go ahead and string all of them on, going the same way. And there's 13 of these that you're putting on. The number's important. I tried 11, and it just doesn't have enough. And so, and with using eye pins, that might make it faster and easier. It's just that I've got plenty of 28 gauge wire, and it's a little less expensive to use wire than it is to use actual eye pins. Alright, and it's going to take me a few more minutes to get all of these on. And one thing that's neat about these, kids will love them. You can sell them at craft fairs. If you have some cute pencils, make them to match the pencils and put them on the end of the pencils. It protects the eraser, and you can sell them during craft fairs during the holidays, or decorate them for the holidays. Give them as stocking stuffers, stuff like that. Okay, so we have them all on the wire like this in a U shape. And what you're going to do next is make sure that they're all tight, really close to each other, and you're going to bring them together, and you're going to twist the ends of this wire, and you want to make sure that it's as tight as possible because you want it to fit inside the pen cap. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to twist it 2 or 3 times. One more. And I'm going to trim it up really, really close to my the twist here. And yeah, I'm making it fly. Okay, then you're going to bend this down so it's actually part of your wrapped wires or your little pins. So you want that to be tucked inside. Okay, so that should fit inside your pen cap that's been prepared. I put that over here. It should fit inside, no problem. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to do with this bundle is you're going to wrap it with a 1/4 inch piece of duct tape. And I'm going to go ahead, you could use whatever duct tape you want on the inside. I'm just going to go ahead and use the red because that's what I'm actually going to be using. But it really doesn't matter what color you use. You can use black or gray on the inside. It really doesn't matter. And you're going to wrap it around real, real tight. Basically what this will do is it will form friction for you when you poke it up through the cap. Okay, so that's done. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your prepared cap and you're going to push the wires up inside the cap so that the open end of the wires is going in first. And you're just going to force it through. Make sure all the wires go through. And you're going to pull it up as tight as possible. And one way that you can make sure that this goes up as far as you can is take your pencil with the eraser and push it in. And push it as much as you can. Push it real hard because you want to make sure that when you release it, it won't come off. So it's still not tight enough, so you keep on going. And you may have to, actually I think this will be fine. Keep going, keep pushing. Alright, because if you look at this, if you look inside your pen, you can see through this cap, your pencil does not go all the way up. There's like a 1/4 inch of open space. That's where you're aiming to have your duct tape be jammed into, is that 1/4 inch of space. So that way it won't come off. And with pens, it won't matter as much because they don't go up as far in. You see that? It only goes up to about here. And you don't really have to worry if you're only going to be using it for pens. But if you're going to use it for pencils as a way of protecting the erasers, you want to make sure you jam it up in there as far as it will go. And this one's not perfect. You might want to use a little less of the duct tape. But it should, you know, it's going to be loose on this particular one, but future ones will be fine. Okay, so we're at this point. And what we're going to do is we're going to start beading the wires. So you're going to pull one away from the outside edge. And you're going to put your beads on. Hopefully I can do this without them flying all over the place. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull out this and dump them out. So that way they won't be flying everywhere. Okay, yeah, I've got a lot more than 26 there, but anyway. Okay, so I'm going to put on a bead. A glass bead or E-bead, seed bead, then one of these, and then one more of these. And then the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to take your needle nose pliers, you're going to bend this over at a 90-degree angle, cut this end to within 1/4 of an inch, because you're going to make the teeny tiny simple loop. And I haven't been able to figure out another way of using, of getting these through the cap and using head pins so that the little loops won't show, but it adds a little bit of glitz to it, so it's cute. And you can always add some dangles to it if you wanted to. So I'm going to do another one just to show you how I did that. Let's pull out the next one. I like to try to grab the ones that are close together on the outside of the perimeter. Okay, so pull that one out. Seed bead or E-bead, paper bead, and then one more of these. And you can use your existing paper beads for this project. You don't need to make special ones. It's a good way for you to, you can actually go ahead and mix them up too. You don't have to use the same one. In fact, since I'm going to be making these to sell, I probably will make a few that have several different ones, maybe even 13 different types of beads, or color them for Christmas or whatever. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I got the two done, and basically you're going to do the same thing with all of them. And then I'll show you what to do after that. Okay, so I got the last of the beads on, and if you look carefully, you're going to see there's one in the center, there's 6 on the first layer, and there's 6 on the bottom layer, which makes up 13 beads. And so the next step that we're going to do is we're going to cover this pen cap. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to use our larger piece of duct tape. And what you're going to do is you're going to push these beads up as far as you can push them up to get them out of your way. And you're going to put the top of the duct tape, line it up with the top of the pen cap, and slowly wrap it around. And don't worry about the bottom, we're going to cut that off later. And so just go ahead and wrap it around, completely encasing the pen cap with the duct tape. And then at this point, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead, and if you need to open it up, you can use the awl. Well, actually, no, you can't. What you're going to do at this point is you're just going to cut that off. You're going to find the ridge, and that's where you're going to cut. Now it's going to close up on you. So at this point, what you want to do is go ahead and punch the awl inside. And that should also seal up the edges a little bit. And your pen cap or your pencil topper is done. You can pull these down a little bit. And that's basically it. You're all done, and I'm going to test it on that pencil that I have. And it fits, no problem. And that's all that it takes to make one of those. And I give you permission to make them for your own craft fairs in your own local area. Try not to sell them on Etsy though, please. Okay, if you like this video, I wanted to thank you for watching. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And also go ahead and leave some comments and questions you may have below in the comments section. And go ahead and like this video if you like it. You know, hit the thumbs up button. And until next time, thank you again and have a great day. Goodbye.